Hey guys, in this video, I'm gonna talk to you about how the earnest money deposit works and why it exists in the first place. So, in California, a contract is not valid until the buyer has submitted a good faith deposit on the purchase of the home. It's got a couple names: the good faith deposit, the EMD, which stands for earnest money deposit, and then we also call it the initial deposit. So if you hear any of those, just think it's all the same thing. And the earnest money deposit is due, the EMD is due within 2 to 3 days of getting your offer accepted on your new home. So the way it works is the earnest money deposit is typically between 1% and 3% of your purchase price. If you're buying a $500,000 house, the minimum earnest money deposit we're typically gonna see is $5,000. Maybe that's if you're using a VA loan or a low down payment loan. The higher or highest amount is 3%, so in that case, $15,000. Now let's say we use the higher amount, the $15,000 on this $500,000 home. Let's say you're using a 20% down payment. So your down payment is $100,000. Let's say we have an additional $10,000 in closing costs. That would mean our total cash to close, which is down payment plus closing costs, is $110,000. Our earnest money deposit is $15,000. So we get our offer accepted. On day one, we go to the bank, or you go to the bank, and you wire in your earnest money deposit of $15,000. Escrow receives that money. It sits in escrow for 21 days, and on day 21 or day 30, whatever day we are scheduled to close, you're gonna wire in the remaining amount. So remember, the total cash to close is $110,000. You already wired in $15,000. If my math is correct, then you owe another $95,000 on closing day. So the earnest money deposit that you wire in on day one is contributed to your down payment and closing costs. Now, if you're using a VA loan and you're financing all of your closing costs, you might see a situation where your cash to close, the $110,000 example I named, might actually be less than your initial deposit. And I've had clients do that this year already. They've had a $10,000 initial deposit that they wire in on closing day, but their cash to close is only $7,000. So on closing day, they actually don't make another wire. They get a wire back from escrow for $3,000. They get back the overage amount. So in summary, the initial deposit, it's due within 2 to 3 days of opening escrow. The amount is applied towards your total cash to close, and it sits in the escrow account for the amount of days that we are in escrow. And on closing day, you wire in the rest, and then we proceed with closing. So I hope that answers your question about how earnest money deposits work. If I didn't answer your question thoroughly, I'm a call away and here to help, so give me a call anytime.